I'm Shannon.
And I'm Holly.
And this is a Girls Gone Curious podcast, where we talk about things that make us curious. So grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, because your show is loading. Today's episode includes the following trigger warnings, mentioning topics of sodomy after death and murder. This podcast is not suitable for children. Please listen with care. We do apologize if we say any of the names or places wrong in today's case. If you don't like it, fucking scroll. Just kidding. We love you. This week's true crime category is child killers. So let's get into it.
Most of the time when someone is killed, our first reaction or suspect would be an adult. And in a small town, no one is readily pointing fingers at people living in the same small town. There is the occasional weird person who lives in the small town and usually automatically gets blamed. But for this case, there isn't one. Everyone would believe that a stranger entered this town and killed a 4-year-old boy before ditching. And if someone didn't end up confessing, it's possible that they would have gotten away with it. This is the case of the freckled face killer, who went by the name Derrick Smith. This all begins when a 4-year-old boy, Derrick Robie, went missing. On the morning of August 2nd, 1993, Derrick left his home to attend a summer day camp at the local park. This park was less than 1 block from his home. Normally, his mother would watch him walk to the park, but this time her hands were full. She was tending to Derrick's little brother, Dalton. Derrick's mom, Doreen, was planning on watching him like normal, but when Derrick noticed she was busy, he just told her that it was fine and he could walk down there himself. Doreen would later say in an interview, "It's the first time I ever let Derrick go anywhere alone. And it was 1 block down, same side of the street. He gave me a kiss and I said, 'I love you.' He says, 'I love you, Mom.' And he went hopping off the sidewalk." End quote. A short time later, a storm would begin to roll in. As soon as it started to storm, Doreen would get a bad feeling, like an uneasy settlement of dread. Around 11 a.m., she would go down to the park, where Derrick was supposed to be. Her plan was to pick him up since it was starting to rain. And once there, they would tell her that he never arrived. Struck with panic, she called the police to report him missing. So luckily with this case, it was like right away, and they actually got on to searching for Derrick.
Yeah.
5 hours later, they would find Derrick's body in a small patch of wooded area. This area was in between Derrick's home and the park. He was strangled and beaten to death by rocks.
Jesus fucking.
His Kool-Aid from his lunchbox was dumped into his wounds that were by the rocks. So someone deliberately dumped Kool-Aid into his wounds.
What the fuck?
And if that wasn't enough, then he was sodomized with a small stick after death. The cause of death was determined to be blunt trauma to the head with contributing asphyxia. Like I said in the beginning, the whole town, or at least most people, believed the suspect was a stranger. This was a brutal murder, and there was no way that it could have been done by anyone but a stranger, and a stranger that was an adult. But like half the cases out there, it's never who you'd expect it to be. But there is cases where it's exactly who you suspect it to be. That's why I said half. Not most. Derrick Joseph Robie was born on October 2nd, 1988, in Bath, Steuben County, New York. His parents were Dale and Doreen Robie. When his father, Dale, first heard of the death of Derrick, he confided it in his own father, saying that now he'll never be able to do the things that his father did with him. Dale also coached t-ball, and that was one of Derrick's favorite games. He always promised his mom that he was going to get the next home run for her. Now, just on the other side of town is where a 13-year-old boy, Eric Smith, lived. He grew up almost always being alone, besides when he was at home or with his grandparents, spending a lot of time just riding his bike around town. Smith would say that he got bullied a lot. This was because he had red hair, freckles, and was on the shorter side. This apparently made him an easy target. As a toddler, his mom and stepfather claimed that he had temper tantrums, where he would bang his head on the floor. He also had speech problems and was held back in school. His stepfather remembers at one point Smith coming up to him and saying that he needed help because he wanted to hurt someone or something. But as far as I know, or we know, nothing was ever done about it. Now, I'm not saying all of this is an excuse. I'm just giving background,
right.
Which I don't really want to give.
Right. And this actually infuriates me because if he came to them and was like, yeah, I really need help, and they
like,
just
I need
it
help,
off.
I want to hurt someone, I want to hurt something.
Yeah. The parents should be charged as well.
Yeah.
Of Smith.
Yeah.
That is bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Shortly after Derrick was found dead, Smith would approach his neighbor, Marlene Heskel, about something that was concerning. Marlene would later say, "He asked me what would happen if it turned out to be a kid who killed Derrick." End quote. She would respond to him by saying something along the lines of, well, that child would need some psychological help and to confess. Marlene would mention that he also asked her about DNA evidence and how that worked. Obviously, Marlene would tell Smith's parents about what he said. At this point, his family would begin to believe that he must have seen or heard something, but not thinking that he could be the killer himself. And as far as I know, nothing quite happened, and this was only like 1 or 2 days after Derrick was
Well, of course.
found.
I mean, parents aren't gonna, you know.
Yeah. The following days after August 2nd, Smith would visit the police center multiple times. He would claim that he just wanted to see if there was anything he could do to help with the investigation. John Hipps, one of the detectives on the case, and multiple other investigators would talk to Smith. Smith always seemed to like the attention, being upbeat and almost happy about talking about the case. At first, Smith would claim that he didn't see Derrick, but on August 4th, he would change his story. Smith claimed that he actually saw Derrick the day he went missing, saying that he saw him near the park, across the street in an open field. This put Smith in the crime scene timeline himself. Investigators would ask more questions, trying to get any details, and they would also ask him, like, what was Derrick wearing and what was he doing? One of Smith's response was that he was in a white t-shirt and had a lunch bag in his hand. At this point, Smith began to get emotional, so the investigators gave him some time and got him something to drink. Smith had his head down, fists clenched, and was physically shaking. The investigators gave him a glass of Kool-Aid, and at this point Smith would yell, "You think I killed him?" Then he proceeded to break the glass of Kool-Aid by throwing it across the room. Now, our minds probably instantly said, yes, we do think you killed him.
Mm-hmm.
But investigators would not necessarily think this. They would believe that Smith wasn't the killer, but that he may have seen something, and it's possible that he had a block up and just couldn't confess to what he seen. The next day, they would ask him to reenact him seeing Derrick, to try to get a better idea of what Smith may have seen. So, while recording the whole thing, Smith got onto his bike and led them to where he saw Derrick. During the whole time of this, it seems like Smith was enjoying himself, once again liking the attention. But investigators would come to realize that something isn't right about his story. There was no way that Smith would be able to see Derrick in that much detail from where he was claiming to have been seen. They knew he was hiding something. But once again, they still didn't believe he was the killer.
Yeah. Go figure.
On August 7th, Derrick was buried in his baseball uniform. And only 7 days after his death, on August 9th, a confession would come forward. Smith's parents would confront him about knowing something and beg him to tell the truth. Finally, Smith would break and confess everything, telling his mother, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I killed that little boy." So, backtracking to August 2nd. Smith was riding his bike alone on his way to the park to attend the day camp, the same one that Derrick was attending.
Okay.
When he got there, he realized that it was closed and it made him mad instantly. Which I don't know if it was like closed for the day or not, just like not open yet.
Oh, okay.
This seemed to just be the final straw of him snapping, claiming that from all of the bullying at school, he just wanted to hurt someone. And Derrick just so happened to be there. Smith lured Derrick into the woods, claiming that he knew a shortcut to the park. Once in the woods, he would attack and kill Derrick. He would go out of his way to dig up rocks, one being 26 pounds, to smash Derrick's head with. Smith also smashed a banana that was in Derrick's lunch bag. After killing him, he later claimed that he sodomized him because he believed that the stick would reach his heart and stop it. Bull fucking shit.
Yeah, no.
The thing is like, he did it after Derrick was dead.
Yeah. I don't fucking believe that for a second.
Before leaving, Smith would arrange the body, taking off the left sneaker and laying it near the right hand, then taking off the right sneaker and laying it near the left hand. It is unclear why Smith did this. In 1993, Smith was arrested and tried as an adult. Murder is one of the only crimes where a child under 18 years old can be tried as an adult in New York. During the whole trial, it doesn't seem like Smith shows any real emotions. To me, it almost looked like he was angry or just unbothered to be there. But that is my opinion. you can watch the trial to get your own opinion. When Doreen took the stand, she wasn't able to talk much. When asked how did Derrick get along with people, the defense side would object, and the judge would approve the objection. Another question that was objected was when they asked Derrick's mom what he was participating in at the recreation program, which was pretty much the day camp. They would never let her even say one word after these questions. They would just automatically object, and then the judge would agree with it.
What the fuck? Why? What does that have to do with? I guess I'd have to watch the.
I didn't watch the full thing. I just watched bits and pieces from other videos.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing why they were like asking this question was to, what do you call it? Emotionalize the victim, to like bring forth like this was a person, this was who he was, and all that. But like anytime they asked like a question, it was pretty just shot down. And I don't understand why.
Yeah.
The one thing that Doreen was able to get out was, he was my cute little firecracker.
That says a lot.
Yeah. Smith would be examined by both the prosecuting and defense side. The defense psychiatrist, Dr. Stephan, would diagnose him with intermittent explosive disorder. The prosecuting side would not agree with this, saying that it was unlikely in someone Smith's age. And I will say that both sides did extensive testing on Smith. So, side note, intermittent explosive disorder, or IED, is characterized by sudden episodes or unwarranted anger and violent outbursts. Some of these causes of having this would be genetic factors, like if your relatives had like a bipolar disorder or something, it could take a factor into that. Environmental factors like exposure to abuse or trauma, and neurobiological factors including imbalances in brain chemicals. These types of feelings or outbursts come out of nowhere and lead them to feeling like they have no control over their anger. It usually shows up in late childhood or early teens, but it cannot be diagnosed before the age of 6. These people often have tantrums, outbursts, and fights. And in more extreme situations, they can cause harm to people, animals, or things. To treat IED, it usually involves therapy and or medication. So when I looked this up, the diagnosis is actually around the age that he is. So I don't know if, because it was 1993, not all of the research and stuff was out of it as to why she would say that it's not at an accurate age. So I don't know quite that, but
interesting.
If you go by what I just said, then technically it's possible for Smith to have IED. The only problem with this is the fact that when he was killing Derrick, he later mentions that it felt good, saying, "Instead of me being hurt, I was hurting someone else." If it was IED, then during the killing, wouldn't he just be feeling anger?
That's what I was thinking.
As John Hipps, the investigator, said, he totally enjoyed it, didn't want it to end. John Tunney, lead prosecutor, would say this: he could have simply killed Derrick, but chose not to simply kill Derrick. Eric continued to deal with Derrick's body because he wanted to, because he chose to, and, most frighteningly, because he enjoyed it. Tunney would also say, Eric was tired of being the victim in his mind and wanted to see what it felt like to be the victimizer.
Exactly. He didn't give two shits, and it would have been any small child.
Yeah,
He would
it would have been
went after.
anyone who was walking.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily think small child. I think he probably would have tried his luck at even older kids too.
Yeah.
One of the other bigger things about this case that was questioned multiple times was whether Smith was abused at all. What caused him to sodomize Derrick? When asked over and over, everyone denies any abuse going on. The only time it is contradicted is when Smith's sister claims to be molested by their stepfather. So, was someone lying? Or was Smith just so messed up to sodomize Derrick just because? For the jury, the big question was, did he know what he was doing? Did he know the extent of killing someone? On August 16th, 1994, Smith was convicted of second-degree murder. On November 7th, he was sentenced to 9 years to life in prison. At the time, this was the max sentence an under 18-year-old could get for second-degree murder. Smith was held in a juvenile detention center until he turned 21, and then was transferred to an adult prison. But if you thought this was the end of the case, you would be wrong, because we're only like 20 minutes in. Starting in 2002, Smith would be allowed to go in front of the parole board. Because of this, Derrick's family would have to relive everything over again. They weren't allowed in the closed-door hearing, so the only way to remind the board of their loss was to write letters and make videos. In the letters, they would beg the board to not let this man free. And in the videos, this would just be clips of Derrick playing as a kid. His 2002 parole hearing would be denied. This wouldn't be the only parole hearing. For the next 20 years, he would go in front of the board multiple times, pretty much every 2 years. So every 2 years, Derrick's family would have to go through this emotional roller coaster of, is this man going to get out? In the 2004 parole hearing, Smith said, "My anger wasn't directed at Derrick at all. It was directed at all the other guys that used to pick on me. And when I was torturing and killing Derrick, that was what I saw in my head." End quote. Smith was asked if he wasn't caught, would he have killed again? He said yes. So, his 2004 parole hearing was denied. And he would go before the board in 2006, and he was denied. And in 2008, denied. 2010, denied. 2012, denied. 2014, denied. 2016, denied. And in 2018, he was also denied. Then in 2020, he was denied once more. But on his 11th try, in October of 2021, his parole was granted. His release was denied for months because they didn't want him to move back to the town of Savannah, which is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
In February 2022, Smith was released quietly where there was no cameras, after he produced evidence of a living space in Queens, which was about 200 miles from where Derrick's family was living. So, only after serving 28 years, Smith was and still is a free man. In one of the previous parole interviews, he said, "I want to get married and raise a family. Pursue the American dream." He also said, "The 13-year-old kid that took Derrick's life is not the man standing in front of you. I'm not a threat." I think this was like his 2009, maybe later parole hearing where he said this. So it wasn't like his most recent one. In reality, the problem is how much of what Smith is saying is sincere versus what is calculated. There is no true way to tell if someone's telling the truth or just playing a part that they want you to think they are telling the truth. And also, how can you really tell if someone is remorseful? Or have the years of the previous interviews prepared them for knowing how to act? I know parole boards don't just focus on the interview. It's actually just a small part of the whole picture. Like how he has been acting or taking a part in the past, however many years he was there. But this is just a big gamble. Yes, there are some people who truly change, but do we take that risk? Apparently they did for Smith. When Derrick's parents heard the news, they just met up on their porch at home and just hugged. Weeks after finding out he was granted parole, a group got together and protested against Smith getting out. Their main goal was try to remind people of why Smith was in there in the first place. To remember that they lost someone. To remember Derrick. Derrick's parents say that although Smith is free, it is almost a relief on their side as well. Only because they don't have to sit through another parole hearing and wait for the news. They feel like they can finally move on with their life and focus on what's in their life right now. Saying that as long as they never come across Smith, they can let go of the anger and be in the now with friends and family, especially their other son, Dalton. Every year on August 2nd, they try to do something fun. But no matter where they are or what they're doing, they always have to find a place with white ice cream with sprinkles, which is what Derrick called vanilla ice cream. When Derrick passed, neighbors and people of the community put up a cross in the woods at the crime scene. In September of 1993, only a couple months after, to honor Derrick, the community got together to build a ball field in place of where he died. Even Smith's great-grandfather took a part in bulldozing down the wooded area. Today, there is a statue of Derrick watching over the field that was built by Doreen's uncle, his mom's uncle. People from all over the country helped fundraise for the statue. Below the statue, it said, "Dedicated to be a gentle reminder of what childhood is meant to be. Derrick J. Robie."
Wow, that was a punch in the gut.
Yeah. Now I have a couple mentionings, and yeah. Hopefully you had a few questions or thoughts.
I do, for sure.
So nothing's been heard of from Smith since his release. Before his release, he mentioned that he had a fiancée and that he was planning on getting married. And I don't really give a fuck, but I'm mentioning it
Right.
because there's curiosity out there. His fiance was a woman who sent him a letter about the case, and she was becoming a lawyer, which is why she was sending him questions about it. And apparently they fell in love soon after. He also mentioned that he wanted to counsel other kids that were bullied.
So, no.
Just know he's living out there somewhere in Queens. That's if he hasn't moved.
Yeah.
If he killed a kid, he shouldn't be allowed to be a kid counselor, right?
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I would really hope not. And to play on that, or not to play on that, but to add to that, did he have to, or does he have to be on the sex offender registry? Because he did sodomize Derrick.
Yeah, I don't know if he does or not.
That's bullshit if he didn't have to be on there.
Yeah, I don't know. There isn't a lot of information as I was hoping about this case.
Yeah.
But I do have 2 more mentionings.
Okay.
And then we can get into your thoughts and questions.
Okay.
When Smith was being taken away in a cop car, whether that was because he was leaving court or something else, his family just kept saying, like, I love you to him. And then when he was convicted, there was a video of them walking out of the room, Smith's parents, and his mom was just breaking down. And I mean, I get it. It's your kid. It just bothers me.
Yeah, me too.
But what bothers me the most about it, I think, is that Smith was showing no emotion.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't cry. He didn't get upset. He didn't show anything.
Mm-hmm. Just like, oh, another day.
Yeah. Like, why the fuck am I here? And get this shit over with.
Right.
Oh, it just pisses me off. And my last mentioning is Derrick was nicknamed the unofficial mayor of Savona because he would often greet and wave at the corner at people coming and going. His mom would say that he was just so much fun.
Aw.
Yeah. Kind of end my mentionings on a lighter note.
Yeah.
I really only have one thought, and it's like, I don't believe that it was IED.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was really just a serial killer in the making.
I agree.
Because he literally admitted to killing again if he wasn't caught.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and how the fuck do you let someone like that just go?
And that's what I understand. Like, and you did say something about, like, learning from the previous. So he was denied so many times. So did he just...
Yeah, did he just, like, learn...
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should probably say this. I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah. And I know, like, they watch him in prison and stuff, but he could just be putting on a whole fucking act.
Yep.
I'm gonna play good prisoner until I get out.
Yeah.
Luckily, I hope, like I've said in another case, I hope that I'm wrong about this feeling. I hope that he is a changed person and doesn't kill anyone. Or doesn't kill, doesn't assault, doesn't do anything. It's just like, the other thing that bothers me is like, he sodomized him.
Yeah.
Like, what the... That's not...
There was no reason. And him using the excuse he thought his heart stopped. He did it after Derrick was gone.
Yeah.
So bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
And the thing is, he'd have to take off his shoes, take off Derrick's pants, take off Derrick's underwear, and probably have to position him a certain way to do it.
Right. No, I just don't buy it for a second.
It's fucking disgusting, and I hope to God he's not a POS now and he's a changed person, but we'll never know until we do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he had all that time in prison. He could have learned how to hide shit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
He's had, I don't know how many different, probably prison cell buddies that he could have learned stuff from. And he was in there for 28 years.
Yeah, that's a long time to learn something.
Yeah, but not long enough for killing someone. So, questions, thoughts?
So earlier on in the case, the prosecutor, or not early on in the case, but early in the trial, the prosecutor had said, why didn't he just kill him? Why didn't Smith just kill Derrick? He literally enjoyed what he was doing.
Yeah.
He took it way far beyond, he took it way far past what was being done to him at school.
Yeah.
And in all that instances, even killing him was taking it farther than what had happened at school, obviously, because he was still alive. So why didn't he just bully?
Yeah.
Like,
why didn't he just pick on him
or whatever? Why did he have to kill him?
Yeah.
Because he
wanted
truly
to.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. And you can't tell me it was a fit of anger. Yes, maybe you were angry in the beginning, but as you were doing it, you said you felt good.
Yeah.
So that's not anger anymore.
No.
That's enjoyment.
My second was involving the 2004 hearing for him to possibly get paroled. So, like we touched on earlier, he got denied for admitting that he wanted to kill again. But yet, and that's where I think he learned, like...
Don't say that.
Yeah. I shouldn't have fucking said that.
Yeah.
And so then, like, the next one, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm, everything's good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna kill again.
And I did want to say, I just don't know which one. Well, I already asked that question, or we already talked about that, but can he be around kids?
Yeah, I don't.
Was he on the sex offender registry for
he should be.
New York? So we checked the
New York Queens registry, and we didn't see him on there. So
he must not have had to be on the sex offender registry.
Yeah, unless he changed his name, which I mean we could. I don't know if we could find or not, but that's going into a bunch of other stuff,
right?
And I don't want to put that much effort into this piece of shit.
Yeah. So I guess my last thing is, so he got 28 years for a life that he stole.
Yep.
A life that was so full, but was stolen at the age of 4.
Yep.
And he only had to serve 28 years.
Yep. And he gets to go free and live the American dream.
Yeah.
He said he wants to get married and he wants to have kids. Yeah, well, the life you stole, he can't.
Right.
You killed a fucking 4-year-old. I didn't really want to mention this, but he did say in one of the parole interviews, that if he could, he would switch his life with Derrick. And it's
bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second. I truly don't. I think
just
that
like
was
when
something...
his interviews, he looks like emotionless. He doesn't look like he's... looks like he's just saying stuff.
Yeah. Saying stuff because he knows what to say to get out.
Yeah. And I'm assuming by 2022, or 2021, he probably was able to show more emotion.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I mean, his fiance/attorney probably gave him all kinds of tips.
Yeah. Cellmate probably too. Yeah, this case was something. Like they always are.
Yeah. They're all horrible in similar ways, but when it's a kiddo, it's worse.
When kids are involved, it's a different level of horrible. Kids are so innocent and
well, some kids.
I tried to look up like the percentage of children that are murderers, and like I couldn't find anything on it. So I'm assuming it has to be so like few that.
Well, few, and a lot of times the records are sealed.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they also could easily get away with it because their parents could cover it for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole nother topic for another day.
Anyways, our next episode will be a lighter note because we are going to be hitting our 1 year mark.
Woo woo! So excited.
Yes, it'll be a fun one. So stay tuned for that.
Our hearts go out to the victim and all affected in this case. With that is all we have for today. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Girls Gone Curious Podcast. Until next time.